Good afternoon, Dith Da. Welcome to the Cornwall Record Office here at County Hall at Truro. It's a further session of David's dazzling documents. And this is Speak Cornish Week. So this week we thought we'd give you a treat from some of our Cornish language items. And in particular, on the table today, we have one of our famous manuscripts, which is Memorandums Relating to the Cornish Tongue, compiled by the Reverend William Borlase, who was the rector of Ludgvan from 1722 until his death in 1772, exactly 50 years, and he wrote this in around 1748 to 1749. It was his version of what he thought the Cornish should sound like and be written down. Not always accurate, it has to be said, and not always consistent with modern spelling today, but it was his version of what he could recall growing up in West Cornwall in the early 18th century. And if we look inside, we have different versions of the text that he compiled. He had very distinctive handwriting. His handwriting is very recognizable in many manuscripts, even where he doesn't sign it. For example, we have a English dictionary. For example, we have here some of the words beginning with HU and huesa, to sweat, Julian, a beetle, huero, rough, and huellum, I may see. It was his version of what he thought was the correct interpretation at the time in the 1740s of what Cornish should be like. And if we turn on through the book, it's got different sized pages, so we have to be really careful with it. Here we have, for example, another version of Cornish, and this is his section on place names. So we've got different places in Cornwall. For instance, here we've got Borlase in the parish of Paul, Buskiddick in Llanivet, Buslogus again in Paul. And he wrote down all the places, and he tried also to interpret them, what he actually thought that they meant. And that's a great science in itself, sort of meaning of Cornish place names. And then there are other sort of more esoteric versions of Cornish and English. Here, for example, we have the Cornish words used in administering the bread and wine to the communicants in the Lord's Supper in church. So you have the Cornish version and then the English version, the body of our Lord Jesus Christ, etc. So he wrote down different things that were in Cornish. And here also we have his version of the Lord's Prayer. We have in ancient Cornish, and then in English, and then also in modern Cornish. And you see this sometimes displayed in Cornish churches on a little table on the wall, the Lord's Prayer in the Cornish language. And then also, he also recorded other things. We've got numbers in Cornish, so 1 and 1, Dean 2, Try 3, Padzar 4, Pemp 5, Weh 6, Seth 7, Eth 8, Nor 9, and Dig 10. And then he also recorded the names of the 12 months from January right through down to obviously December. So it's quite an important version of what he thought correct Cornish should be in the 1740s. If you're interested in the Cornish language and want to study more, do come along, make an appointment. We'd be very pleased to let you have a look at it in the record office. Have a good day.